The great reckoning over sexual harassment continues to tear through the media industry, only a little closer to home this time with reports that the Boston Globe is close to publishing a story about allegations in its own newsroom. The Boston Globe has aggressively covered sexual misconduct, including this blockbuster expose that Senate President Stan Rosenberg's husband, Brian Hefner, allegedly accosted at least 4 men at official functions.
As you can imagine, I was shocked and devastated to learn of the allegations reported in the Boston Globe.
But in recent days, rumors have flown in local media circles about allegations within the Globe newsroom, and that at least one staffer has been let go. This morning, WEEI's Kirk Minahan and Jerry Callahan alluded to those rumors on air.
I mean, there's a real issue going on here right now with women reporting workplace sexual harassment. I have the Boston Globe right here. They have a story from October 23rd. I don't know this guy. Somebody wrote the story. I haven't seen him right there recently.
WEEI named names, which we bleeped because Beat the Press has not confirmed the identity. But on Boston Public Radio, Boston Globe columnist Shirley Leung acknowledged that the Globe has been working on a story about sexual harassment within its own ranks for several weeks.
There's more to the story than this one person, and it goes through our present, it goes through our past. It's a sordid history of sexual harassment. We were not immune to women being treated poorly.
We're told the Globe intends to publish the story soon. We should say Shirley Leung is also a contributor to WGBH News. So the problem for the Globe is that they've kind of allowed this to spill out into media circles. Everybody was talking about this story this morning after Kirk and Callahan broke the story, but many people, yourself included, Dan, had heard rumors of this before. We tried to confirm it all day, including with the person who we heard was let go, but it appears it's more than likely true. The Globe has said it's going to print a story. It hasn't done it yet. They ran with this Herald thing just a little while ago. But
yeah, I mean...
By the way, I should say at this taping, because it may be, by the time this show airs, it may be out.
It could be. And I'm going to guess that when the Globe publishes its story, it's going to be very thorough, and we're going to say, gee, you know, this is really a good introspective look at what's been going on at the Globe. On the other hand, when you have a rumor that's been flying around for several days, I just don't think it's good for morale to let Kirk and Callahan talk about the story on WEEI, and you haven't written anything about it yet. I think good for the Globe for wanting to be careful and get it right. In this case, I think they needed to at least get some of this out there earlier.
In part, I would suggest, because if you look at Twitter, for example, and you look at the Kirk and Callahan tweet saying that they were going to report some breaking news, there's all this speculation going on in the thread to that tweet of, well, is it so-and-so? Maybe it's so-and-so. No, maybe it's this person instead. In some cases, naming the individual identified by Kirk and Callahan. In some cases, not. If I were one of those people who Kirk and Callahan didn't seem to be pointing to, I would have wanted the Globe to come out as quickly as possible and say, we're actually looking at this individual in the newsroom. That's who is at issue.
The timing is also a little bit odd on this. I mean, for one thing, while we're talking, it's about 5 p.m. on Friday afternoon, which is when people dump news that they really don't want to get much attention. But aside from that, on Sunday, the Globe is starting a series that will run all next week looking at the history of race in Boston. Right. And they're teasing it by saying, we take an in-depth look at the history of race at the Boston Globe and how race has been treated. So that makes me, you wouldn't plan it in such a way to have those the gender history and the race history on 2 consecutive days. It really is something where a news organization that is at risk of harming its reputation needs to come out and do as vigorous a job reporting it as they possibly could. We remember when the Globe had their delivery issues that their reporters did a good job on that. Let's hope that the Globe does the same here.
I think, picking up on Dan's point, if there was a piece of this you could announce, because those of us know certain action has been taken, that part could have been, and then you could say we have much more in depth to come about it.
Because there may be more than one person.
It could be, but but at least with that, then you're not behind the 8 ball with everybody else talking at random and naming other names in that way.
Yeah. Presumably this has already happened. That's what our understanding is. So.
But at least one move. I mean, as Shirley said,
but why not put out some of it? I mean, you don't have to put out the in-depth,
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
This might be a good moment to note, and we have to be kind of cryptic here, that we are hearing, as we prepared to tape today, or we were hearing that there's a much more bigger, recognizable name nationally in local media circles here in Boston, who also may be heading toward
an exit,
an indefinite leave,
yeah.
suspension of some sort. So that will be unfolding probably over the weekend.
Trying to confirm that at press time too, and we weren't able to do that, but I'm sure that'll be breaking over the next couple hours.